are we starting with here, Ryan? What do you want to?
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us for tonight's Austin FC post-match press conference. We are joined first by head coach Josh Wolff. As always, please make sure to utilize the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. Josh, we'll start off tonight with your thoughts on the match.
I thought it was a difficult match. I mean, they're a good team, but really proud of our guys. The other night was difficult in Salt Lake. Played well enough to get something out of the game, and came here with a real hunger to have a strong performance. No, it's going to be a difficult game against a good team, but you got to have the bravery. You got to have the willingness to compete physically, combative. That's the first part of it. And then when the time comes, you got to be able to find your way to find ways to play and keep the ball and move the opponent. And they're a terrific team, and they're difficult to play against. They create a ton of situations out wide. A lot of set pieces that we dealt with extremely well, except for a couple. But we played our way into it, and I thought the guys grinded really well at the end. And Diego grabbed a goal, Ruben grabbed a goal, and Diego could have grabbed another one. So just a very good collective effort, and I could be more proud of the guys.
Thanks, Josh. We'll go ahead and start taking media questions now. Chris Bills, go ahead and take that first one.
Thanks, Cam. Yeah, Josh, just a massive win for the club. You're top of the table. I know you like to keep things in perspective, but just being back at the stadium where you guys kicked this whole thing off.
Yeah.
How much does this feel like sort of a watershed moment to show how far you guys have come in 14 months?
Yeah, that's a great point. We started here. It seems like longer than that, to be honest. But that was an emotional game for all of us, the first one ever in this club's history. So I think it's really fitting to come back here and again put in a very solid performance. Again, it was going to be challenging, but our guys found ways to grind through it, to play well at times, create some really clear-cut chances. And we come away with 3 points. It's extremely well deserved by the guys, and really pleased. Obviously, it's 11 games into the season, 12 games into the season, so we won't get too far ahead of ourselves. But glad we grabbed some points here on the road. We continue to have a strong mentality on the road, strong results, and we got to get pushing. We'll have to freshen up a little bit for the Orlando game, another top team now, and be good for our guys. Look for another reaction, good reaction.
And Owen starting tonight, I guess what was it about this moment that made you feel like he was ready for that? How much did that do with Saturday night's performance? And just, for him against the top team in the league, I thought, he showed himself well. What did
Yeah, I think, first and foremost, you earn playing time. It doesn't matter if you're the coach's son or you're one of our stars. It's you come to train. When you get minutes, how do you perform? And how do you contribute in those games? And again, I think he's done a good job in the limited minutes that he's been in there. And one of the certainly the premier team in the league. He was going up against one of the best left backs, so we talked about it. We looked at it, and I love the challenge for him. He's got a physical element that I think is really interesting for a 17-year-old. He's also got calm and quality with the ball. Would have loved for him to put that one top shelf when he had that chance. But he competes. He's got a good mentality, and these moments will help him. But got to keep working on a number of things. But pleased for him to get his first start ever. And like he said, he was more more complimentary of the group than his own individual accolades.
Thanks, Josh. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. We'll go now to Phil West. Phil, go ahead.
Yeah, congrats on the win, Josh. This is great. I just wanted to ask a little bit about towards the end of the match, where you went kind of with a 5 in the back posture.
Yeah.
Just kind of what was the rationale for that? And obviously that ended up paying off, but that's been a risky thing before.
Well, I think you got to look at what the game is showing you. They're going around the edges, and we're certainly fatigued, so it's tough for us to now deal with the numbers out wide. They're dipping inside for in-swinging crosses. They're creating overlaps and underlaps on the edge, and that's, for me, they got 5 guys on the line the whole time. So it was needed. I think Ethan, we sagged him down. We've done similar things before. We brought Kip in there. And again, Johnny's athleticism and speed, he does a great job. But Diego, Alex, Felipe, Sebastian holding the middle, really being combative and not allowing central penetration. And again, Maxi puts in a shift like no other. So the team worked hard, they grinded, but you got to try to take away some of their strengths, those edges. Rodriguez, Vela, it's tough to deal with, but our guys held firm and Again, the first penalty to me it should be a corner kick for us, so it's really disappointing. That should be our corner. They play it in behind the line, and obviously it's disappointing to give up a penalty and they get a little bit of momentum. But we hung in there.
Yeah. And then just about Fagundes, obviously he had that chance for a goal in the first half, which should have made it 2-0. But then a bit of a redemption arc.
Yeah.
At the end, he got the goal. And Driussi's assist.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I think, again, Sebastian has things about him that are quite unique, and so does Diego. And the movement on that goal was, again, those were the things that we talked about, and a little bit of the structure that we had to ask different questions of their back line. And Diego, Sebastian's running free as can be as Owen pulled the center back out of the midfield, and unlucky to not get that one in the first half, as you said. The second half they're taking chances, and you got to punish them. You got to punish teams like that to get the second, to give yourself some breathing room. When you create the chances, as Sebastian did, it was certainly a small glimpse at what his quality is like, and glad to see them stay calm in front of goal and really put the nail in the coffin.
Thanks, Phil. We'll go next to Charles Bain. Charles, go ahead.
Congrats on the win, Josh. It seems like your team had to manage this game down the stretch, and I wonder what you thought of how they did that, and maybe if that's a sign of things to come as you get into the grind of summer games and midweek and fixture congestion, how your sort of game model maybe evolves or shifts.
Yeah, I think, again, late in games, if you're winning, especially, the opponent does start to throw a lot at you, and it starts to look a little desperate. And, LA throws a lot at you anyway. But for sure, I think the point is valid going into the summer, and, certainly the heat starts to affect some of the games. Schedule congestion will affect it. But we have some flexibility, I think, in our normal defensive structure where we can almost look like we did here at the very end, where it's a little more of a 5-3-2. Or a 5-2-3. So we've done it in a few games already against certain opponents, depending upon what they're trying to do, as I mentioned, around the edges. So, but then offensively, we still have to be able to play. So it took us a little while to really put together some real constructive possession. But the game settles, the other team fatigues a bit as well, and we found some rhythm throughout that game.
Just one follow-up about Fagundes. He seems to be bringing so much to the table, not just in terms of end product, but the intangibles as well.
Well, I think Diego's, again, I've known Diego since he was, I was playing in this league. And he's a very talented player. He always has been. In and around goal, that's what I say to him. Getting him in and around goal is what his unique quality is. I think he navigates pressure really well. His combination play is very good. But put him in front of goal, and he's extremely good. Decision-making, calm, and quality. And, he should have had that first one off the bar. He knows that. I will say the pitch at both ends was really unstable. A lot of new grass. Obviously they have concerts, but could have affected it. Certainly could have affected it. But, I think guys like Diego, Alex, growing into a little bit more leadership role, Julio Cascante. So, there's a lot to go around in this locker room right now. Again, I can't say enough about the guys' spirit and resiliency. But it's a really unified collective group, and it doesn't happen tonight. Nights like tonight don't happen if we're not in the space that we are. And I'm again really proud of the way this group continues to grow.
Thank you. We'll go next to Jorge Giralde. Jorge, go ahead.
Hi, Josh. I was going to ask you something else, but once you're talking about Diego, what is the reason why he's not playing the full games?
I don't know. Fatigue.
Okay. The second one, it seems like in 2022, especially lately, Austin FC is not having normal games. It's dramatic, the ending. How do you leave those 10 last minutes of the game, especially today?
Again, I think it's unfortunate they get a penalty. Again, that is a corner kick for us that they put in, play quickly and play behind. So I don't even think it should get to that. But we're going to play a lot of games. You got to hang in. You got to grind. I mean, winning games 1-0, winning 1-goal games is about character and belief and being difficult to break down. And of course, you're going to give a little bit. The important part is that you don't break. And we've had a number of 1-goal wins this year. We've had a couple where we blow them out, but this builds a little more character, and the group has better character. And again, we just got to keep pushing forward. We got a long ways to go, but proud of this effort tonight, and we'll get ready for Orlando.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jorge. We'll go next to Eric Goodman. Eric, go ahead.
Josh, how nice was it to have Brad back between the posts tonight, and what can you say about his performance tonight?
Yeah, I think it was good for Brad to get back out there, and I can't say enough about Andrew, to be honest, as well. He came in against Houston, did a fantastic job, took a lot of responsibility in the LA Galaxy game, and again against Salt Lake, I thought he was fantastic. So to have two extremely good goalkeepers is a nice problem to have, and Brad came in tonight. Again, gives us a little bit of calm with his feet, a little more calm. Made a couple really nice saves. And again, I think his game management has gotten much better. There's some moments in this game I think we can obviously think about it a little more. The instability in and around the penalty box in the six. I don't know if you can tell on TV, but it wasn't perfect. So a little, certainly courage and bravery to play out of some of those situations. And I thought Brad handled that really well. In order to play against teams like LAFC, you have to have a want and a desire to play, and that's playing out of the back because they bring pressure. And I liked our ability to take that on. It wasn't always perfect, but we stuck to it. We broke through at times, and again, we don't create the chances that we create without the ability to build from our back. And we've lessened that a little bit this year, but there are moments where you got to do it. You got to take it on, and our guys did that tonight.
And then with Danny suspended, Alex Ring slides back in kind of his spiritual home, that holding midfield role. Are you seeing? Obviously he looked very comfortable back there. Having those conversations, is that a position you guys are trying to maybe get him a bit back to where he's clearly was really effective tonight?
No, I don't think so. I think he does a good job. When he's in the attacking mid position as well, he does a good job arriving in front of goal. He gives us more goal potential. Of course, he would like to contribute more, but like you said, he's quite comfortable right there in the middle. His grinding at the end of this game, breaking up plays. Again, you're putting out fires before they really become problematic. And even on some of the problematic ones, he did a great job. I mean, he hung in there and fought. And, as captains do, or as captains should, he did. And, proud of that performance. And again, he will continue to play in different spots for us. I think, he has qualities, obviously, that resonate both defensively and offensively. So depending on what we think we need in the game and obviously availability of other personnel, we'll make those decisions. Johan Valencia, fantastic first game, fantastic second start for him. It's a difficult game. It was combative in there for him. He gave a lot of fouls, took some fouls, but he's getting more and more acclimated with our game model and certainly our league. And those performances will only grow for him as well.
Just one more quick one.
Sure.
I know you felt like in the past you guys have had some harsh decisions going against you. Just what was going through your mind during that last VAR review on Kip's potential penalty and the relief maybe to see that one get waved off?
Yeah, it's nice to see it go that way. Certainly can't argue that, but we'll keep moving on. I won't talk too much about it because I worry there may be one down the road that goes the other way. But if they didn't see it and there wasn't anything clear and obvious to overturn it, I think it is what it is. The ref called it or allowed it to be.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Josh. That's all the time we have.
Super. Thank you, guys.
Head Coach Josh Wolff. Everyone, please stay on the line. We'll be joined momentarily by goalkeeper Brad Stuver.
I heard you through there. I had the microphone.
Whoa. Wow, the seat's really warm.
Very shortly by goalkeeper Brad Stuver.
What's up? Trying to get back to Austin, man. We're doing things quick over here.
We'll move quick here. As with Josh, please utilize the raise hand function, everyone, to indicate you'd like to ask Brad a question. Phil, yours was the first hand I saw up, so go ahead and take the first question.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Great batch of saves you had here. 18 days ago, you had injured your knee in that match in Houston and came out. You're back. So just talk about the journey over those 18 days, just kind of how you were able to bounce back so quickly and get in for this huge match.
Yeah, I mean, Houston was an emotional day for me. Obviously, I'd go down with the injury and get rushed to the hospital, following the game online. Proud of the guys, proud of Tarbs coming in and standing on his head in Houston and getting the result there. Pretty emotional for me, just going through all of it, trying to figure out like what was wrong with the knee, going through a bunch of tests, and fortunately for me, got all pretty much good news. Just had to get stitched up, and it was a pretty deep laceration. You could see like down into my leg a little bit. I won't go into too much detail just because it makes it a little queasy. But the Houston medical staff took care of me, and our high performance staff and our medical team is probably one of the best in the business, and they've been working with me nonstop, day in, day out, to get me back as quickly as possible. And we just had to wait for my body to get to a point where it was healed up and I was ready to go, and I could get a full week of training in. And ultimately the decision was Josh's to when I came back, and I was happy that I was able to be back so quickly, and I was happy that I was able to come back for this game.
And then just want to get your perspective a little bit on the second half in particular. I mean, obviously Arango coming on at halftime makes it a little bit more terrifying for y'all, and then obviously Vela earns the PK, and then he bounces it off the post, and there you are in squeaky bum time for the last 10-ish minutes.
Yeah, LAFC is a good team. This is their home. Much like us at Q2, their fans are kind of their 12th man, and it's a difficult place to come and play, and it's a difficult place to come and get a result. Second half, we knew that it was going to be a grind. We knew that we needed to grab that second goal, because otherwise we were going to be fighting for our life the entire time. On the PK, I don't do well on it. I misread the bounce on the inside the 18, and Vela is super clever. I try and avoid him, but he's super clever and keeps his feet in there and draws the PK, and then we wind up having about 10 minutes of chaos. And that's on me. I mean, if I just make a smarter play there, we don't have to have as much chaos. It would still be grind time there just to see the results out. But 2-0 is a lot easier than 2-1. And credit to everybody on the field and everybody that played tonight to pick me up in that moment and rally and keep the result on the road in a difficult place. You're muted, Cam.
I knew that. Totally knew that. Next, we'll go to Jorge Duralde. Jorge, go ahead.
Hi, Brad.
Hey.
How do you leave the two games that you were on the bench? That's the number one. And the second one, how was your desire to be again on the starting 11?
Yeah, I mean, after I found out the prognosis of my knee, I obviously wanted to get back as quickly as possible. It's always difficult for any competitor to be out of the lineup and to be out of the game day. You always want to put yourself in a position where you can help the team as much as possible. So it was difficult for me, but I did my best to this is a team. It's a collective. We're all pushing to win a championship. It's going to take all 28 guys that we have on the roster to win a championship. And I was just there to continue talking to guys, continue being a soundboard for guys and helping Tarbs prepare himself. I mean, he's been ready to be in the games since last year. We've been competing for a year and a half, and I knew that he was ready to go, and he showed it. He showed his quality when he was in, and for me, I knew that he was going to do well, and I just needed to come back and make myself fit, and obviously I want to be in every game. So,
any comments from your teammates after the game to you?
Nah, just a lot of big hugs, a lot of joking around about the PK, but when you win, you can joke around about mistakes like that.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jorge. We'll go next to Charles Bain. Charles, go ahead.
Hey, Brad, congrats on the win. And you've been around this league a while, and it's still kind of a new project in Austin. So I wonder how it's felt like a statement game, but how do you approach it now internally? With a lot of months left, but still in a pretty great place in the standings.
This is a big result. I mean, on the road is always difficult. It snapped a 2-game losing streak for us. It's the first time that we beat LAFC. They were top of the West. They were top of the Supporter Shield race, and with this result, we jumped that, and we go top of the West, top of the Supporter Shield, and it's a statement game for us. I mean, I think all of these games have been important. You see the grit, you see the grind, you see the chemistry that the guys have, but this one just feels a little bit different. Being able to take points here is something special.
Thanks.
Thanks, Charles. We'll go next to Eric Goodman. Eric, go ahead.
Yeah, Brad, just kind of elaborate a bit more on that. 13 months ago, you started in goal in that stadium for the club's first ever match, and now, 13 months later, you guys take a win there to go. It's early, but to go top of the supporter shield standing. So, what were the feelings walking into those stadiums? If you can compare them and kind of just the kind of poetry that there is between those two nights.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, our first game, there wasn't much of a crowd because there were still COVID restrictions, so we didn't get the full force of the LAFC fans. Tonight, obviously, we had a full stadium, and they showed us what they were capable of. But I think mostly it just shows how much we've grown as a team. I think in that game, that was our first game together, and we still showed our identity, and we still showed a way that we wanted to play. And then we come to tonight, and it wasn't always perfect. It wasn't always pretty. I think we've grown in so many ways where when we can play, and if we need to grind it out, we can grind it out. At the end of the day, 3 points is the most important thing. So I just think it shows the growth mindset of this team and the maturity that we've gone through in the past 18 months.
And then just real quick, that double save that you had, what goes through your mind in those moments, and where does that kind of rank, or just how would you grade yourself on that effort?
I honestly didn't know much about it. I was just trying to make myself as big as possible, and I got really lucky that Vela hit it right at me. Watching it back, I did see, I think it was Julio and someone else was on the line covering the other side, so we did a good job of covering the goal, but at that moment, you're just trying to make yourself as big as possible and trying to get hit by the ball.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Eric. That is all the time we have for tonight's post-match press conference. The guys have to catch their flight home. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Thanks, Brad, for the time. Get home safe.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, y'all.
Get home safe, boys.